Let's see. Is this starting to work now? It might help that I actually press go live. It should be working now. But yes, okay. The key is you need to press go live. So that was the problem. Once again, as I was talking to you all, and you couldn't hear me, I was saying this is only my second time going live, so I'm still trying to figure out the kinks. I thought I was actually live, but you just have to press that little button here. So welcome. Thank you all for joining me. I will be working with sketches 10, 11, and 12. So if you look at the little sketch here for Kendra Card Challenge 16, I'll be working on this one and this one. And this one's very fun. I've already created a card for that, but we will make a little different one. So I decided I would go very simple with my cards because I knew I was going to run into some issues here. And so, but I also want to say what I'm going to be using is the printable that is from Kendra Cards Challenge. She does the October bonus. And if you weren't aware, I did design some images. Kendra came and asked if I can do this. And I created some colored images, so you don't need to color them yourself if you don't want to. They are there to be colored, but you have options. And so I decided I would play with this again. And so for the first one, let's start very simple. I have the wood panel paper, and I have the sunflower paper, which is going to match with some yellow cardstock. And I'm just going to glue these to some matte layers that I've pulled from my stash that kind of make me think of sunflowers. Great audio and video, Sarah. Thanks, Lala. Oh, goodness. I was so nervous the whole time I was trying to enjoy watching Yvette, but I was just thinking about, oh, I'm going to be starting soon. And so I did get to see what she had created, but I was kind of split in thought. I also want to say that the paper that I'm using here, I did use a very fancy paper. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's meant for the Epson printer, which I believe is the one that Tracy was Not Afraid of Color, who was on earlier. She was using, that's her printer, sorry. And if you use that paper or that printer, then this is the paper that I'm using. And I just find that this one it gives you the best color for printing. It's just really crisp, really clean. And so when I'm printing off images, I will always use that. Love the sunflowers. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, so normally what I'm doing is I like to add a little layer, so I think I'm going to do that. So why not? Just take up some more more time and just add some foam tape to this. This is a very thin foam tape, and I like using this one just for adding tiny bit of layer because it won't eat up or won't cost you more in postage. It's just the slightest bit of height. It's probably like 1/16 of an inch. Very, very thin. And I like using that one. And then we'll just add a little bit on this side. And then what it's doing is it's going to create a little bit of shadow, which is perfect for when you have a bunch of colors that are very similar, so that it now is going to really make this differentiate between the different layers here. And it's not going to look so flat. And essentially it's not actually, but sometimes that little bit of height will do it. And if you don't have very thin foam tape, definitely you have lots of extra white scrap pieces of paper laying around that work just as well. And you just have to glue a couple of those, maybe 3 together, and that works just as well. Okay, so this tape is actually not very sticky at first, so it works well, so I can play around with this. So what I'm going to do is, in the sketch, it's actually trimmed. It looks like it's kind of trimmed on the bottom there. I'm just going to overlap it because I'm using the exact same color background or matte layer, which is the green. Same question as Susan. I saw a question. Sorry. If you want to tag my name so I can see it stand out more. I'm trying to get used to looking at the chat, but it's still a habit that I have not learned yet. The only thing about this tape is that it doesn't release very well, so it's kind of a pain. But other than that, see, has that nice little bit of shadow. Just makes it so it stands out a little bit more. So if you're looking to have a little bit of oomph to your card, like just a subtle, try lifting it. That will definitely help. And of course, I could also lift up this one, and I'm going to do that as well, and you'll see the difference. Just 1 second as I cut the tape. What brand is the thin? Oh, thank you, Susan. The brand is Uline, actually. So if you go to Uline, I'm assuming the States has Uline as well. You just look for the 16th inch foam tape. I will put it in my description when this is done of the video if you want to take a look later. But usually you have to buy two big rolls, and they kind of look like this, but much bigger. I've had this for so long. So now you can see that it's actually the shadow. It really adds dimension. And I'm only going to do the top there because I want it to look like it's popping up. And so we'll do that. And this funny thing is this is actually my simplest card. So hopefully I get the jitters out and I can just keep rolling through this. Love the dimension. Thanks, Carrie. And then I have my little sentiment here. I'm not following the sketch exactly because in my case, it didn't work for me because I had such a large image that's kind of taking up the spot. So I'm just going to add the sentiment and not add the stars. So if you look at this one here, there's the stars. I'm not going to add those. I'm just going to keep this nice and simple. And I'm going to have the leaf kind of hugging the sentiment there. And there we go. Nice and simple. I could have done some inking. I could have done embossing. Many things you can do. I can add embellishments because I have some spots over here. But to keep it nice and simple, it is okay. So that is card number 1. Very simple, right? Next, we'll move on to the second one, which is a lot busier. So I'm going to try to do this one very fast just because this one is quite tedious in the sense that there's so many little pieces. Now this sketch, which is number 11, is perfect if you're not doing the full sketch or the full collection. You just want to do one card. Do this one because there are so many scraps that you can easily use for this. So if you just have a bunch of scraps, I should say, laying around, then you can see like they're just so thin. So definitely that is a great sketch to use. While I'm putting this together, I have a little note in front of me that says, talk about the prizes and the sponsors. So Kendra Card Challenge definitely has a huge success, not just because of the viewers like you watching and playing and spreading the word, but also because of all the sponsors that we have that provide prizes for you to win monthly even, but also for the whole quarter. And they also have super sponsors as well, which allows the design team to create with their products and showcase their work or like their products, but also give you inspiration on what you can do with Kendra Card Challenge. And so they provide a lot of prizes. And if you go to kendracards.com, I believe that it is, and you go to the sponsors page, you will see a list of all the prizes broken down and what you can win. And there are quite a bit of them. And there's some that will be monthly, so you just have to keep an eye on what is coming. But there's always chances to win, always. And then, of course, there's also the digital downloads that you can win when you're following us with little hops. And the hops are usually the super sponsors. So we will, design teams will group together. We'll create some cards with the designer, or with the super sponsor. And then there's usually a digital download you can win from Kendra. That is, it's usually about like a week, I think, you have to win, or to apply. So each hop, definitely you want to check out the description box, because there's usually always something to win. So it's lots of fun, lots of excitement. And if you love sketches and you love just creating cards, then this is definitely a challenge that you do not want to miss. And it's been going for 16 rounds now, or quarters, I should say. Yes, Scrap Buster sketches. Okay, so now I got to make sure that my paper is in the right spots. I should probably not glue these down yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these are all in the right spots, because if you look at the sketch, it's going to make a nice little square. So I'm not going to put the square in the center there. So I need to make sure that my pieces are all lined up appropriately. And there we go. So I hope you're all enjoying the hop so far. This has been quite fun. Myself, I've been following along with everyone, and also watched Kendra's premiere where she was announcing all the winners. So congratulations to all the winners of Kendra Card Challenge 15. That is very exciting. Great prizes to be won on that. That was amazing. Okay. And some of these super sponsors, they've been doing it for a while. They've been doing it almost every quarter. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so these are the different little scraps that I have, and these are all papers except for the background from the bonus printable for October. So we're just going to put these together. And take your time. You don't need to rush this. I'm rushing it because I have a very tight deadline, but you don't need to rush this. Just take your time, enjoy the process, have fun, and then make it your own. See, I'm going to kind of overlap mine a little bit because I'm rushing it. So that's okay. Just do a little bit over. And there we go. So there we go. This is quite the color combination. But you know, that's the fun thing about if you're actually doing all the cutting guides and everything, you do end up with fun designs like this. And don't be afraid. Just go for it and see what you create. You never know. You might be the next design that you absolutely love, right? So just keep going forward. Don't stop ever creating. And here's some images I drew. These ones are printed out pretty dark, so you can't really see them that well, but they're two little crows. And I'm just going to put them on the fence here. So I think I'm going to have one sitting up here and then one down here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that looks pretty good. So we'll just glue these down, and I'm actually doing pretty well in time, I think. Yeah, that's not bad. Oops. That's not bad. I think I got so nervous, I'm just speeding through this. So I'll just take my little time, a little longer. I think color works when the crows were using. Okay, so put the little fence down. Nice little fence. And then we got... The crow actually looks like it should be patting its back or something. Kind of looks like it's comforting. I don't know what I was thinking when I drew it, but I thought it was cute, so I added it. And then we'll glue that down. Maybe I'll add some gems since I have some extra time. Yeah, see, Susan, exactly. Or in this case, because the crow is like up here, it looks like he's about to tell a story. He's like, come hither, let me tell you a tale, one that spans across many decades. And this one down here is like, oh, Harold, not again. Two crows. What do you call two crows together? I think it's a group is a murder. Not sure if two is still a murder. I hope not, because then that's exactly what he's going to be talking about. Or he'd be on the scarecrow pointing someone in the right direction. Yes, exactly. Okay, Harold. Oh, yeah. If you ever find yourself bored in crafting, just start making a really weird card and start telling yourself a story. That'll cheer you up. And that'll make you laugh, and it'll get you really excited to continue because you want to know where that story's going. In this case, all he wanted to say was hi. So that was quite the exaggerated storytelling just to say hello. Now, you're going to see that I'm going to be putting this down on a... I don't normally cut my paper this way. I just already did it. So normally if I'm doing a top side like this, I would have the fold on this side. This kind of irks me, so I don't really want to glue it down. But I also don't want to not finish. So I think that would bother me even more. So I think this will just have to do. But normally I don't have... There's nothing wrong with it. It just looks weird, proportionately. That's why the wings were up. It's trying to say hello. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Justine. I see that you said for the comment. Oh, mercy, love the crows. Okay, so that is card number 11. Card number 2, sketch number 11. So once again, I didn't add anything. I didn't do any embossing. I kept it very plain. So you can easily shade things. You can emboss. This one's going to be tougher because there's so many colors and so many textures that you may not want to emboss. You may not want to ink too much. Maybe lifting it will give some dimension to break this yellow from the white. Those are the things you may want to do, is play with the shadowing. Try not to add any more texture or colors to this one. Even adding bling may be a little too distracting unless it's very similar to the colors. For example, if you were to put bling that was almost the same brown on there, then it's just a very subtle. You won't see it. So in this case, I'm going to keep it very clean cut lines and style. So there we go. I have 9 minutes to finish the third card. I'm doing fantastic. I'm going to pat myself on the back on this one, but I shouldn't yet because who knows what's going to happen. That's going to be karma now if I do that. Okay, sketch number 15. So this one, or 12. This one I already did. You'll have to copy and paste. This one I already did for the hop, which was on the second, and then this is the images that I did. You can see the sketch there. So I'm going to do a different scene with different papers so that you're not going to see the exact same thing again. To start off, what I will do is just take my pattern papers and I'm just going to make sure that they line up appropriately So we'll put them like that. And then I'm going to grab some tape, in this case, just to do the back side. And the reason I'm doing this is just I find this a little bit easier because I'm going to use some Love from Lizzie peel-off stickers. And so I'm just going to line this up. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. There we go. Okay. We're just going to put a little bit of tape. You could do other things, like you can glue this to a piece of printer paper or to another cardstock or something, and then you can just trim it. But I find tape's easy. Now, it's not too bad. That's actually pretty clean cut. But sometimes if you're doing it, it might like be a gap in there. And then this is why I'm doing this. If there's a gap, you just want to make sure that these are together so that when you put your little peel-offs or what, then you're covering that gap in between. So I'm just going to line these up with a tiny little bit. And the reason I'm using tape is because, once again, I bought it from Uline, and you can't just get one piece of tape. You get like a box of like 100 rolls. So that's why I'm using tape. Okay, so the PLS I'm going to use is Love from Lizzie's. I love this one. This is an absolute beautiful color, and I'm going to use the wider. It almost has like a chunky texture to it. It's quite interesting, and it looks amazing with the gold. And the reason I'm doing this now is because this will allow me to trim it off before I glue everything down. Okay. So we'll get my scissors here and we'll glue this down. And I think this might not be enough. No, so I'll just grab another one. Don't throw these stickers away. They're good because if you have anything that's going to be blocking, if you have like a sentiment or a big die cut that's going to be blocking, then you could just use 2 small pieces and no one will know because it's just going to be behind. But that is more for me when I have time to craft and not a quick, you got to do something. So I didn't prepare to see if it was going to fit or not. And all I'm doing is just folding it back. And this way I know it's not going to lift. Love from Lizzie peel-off stickers don't. I've never had them lift. They stick pretty well, but this is just for reassurance. Okay, you need a crafty friend to split shipments with, sire. Yes, I know. I know. Okay, so here is where you get to choose, right? So Kendra Card Challenge will tell you how it's designed, but it doesn't mean you have to follow it. Already, I don't have a background layer. I see that there's a map missing, but I'm not going to cut when I only have 5 minutes. So I'm just going to leave it like this. But it doesn't mean that you can't swap these around. I can make it look like this if I want to, right? That's an option. Or if I want the brown in the center, that's an option too, because potentially you may have a sentiment that you may want that goes right across there like a marquee. Like it's like, that's pretty cute. I mean, that's not what I'm going to do, but you know, you can do that. So I'm going to follow the sketch and keep it this way, but those are options that you have. And so what I'll do next is, because I don't have my matte layer, because I forgot about it, I'm going to just lay these down, try to center it as best as I can, and then glue these down. And I just need my glue here. I like where the card is going. Well, thanks, Monique, but wait until it's done to see if you still feel that way. Sometimes no, I'm not going to be down on myself. I like to be sarcastic and tease myself, but, you know, I shouldn't. There we go. So we'll just glue that down. And then we'll take this one. Now, another thing I could have done was, once again, bring that foam tape in and prop this whole thing up. Because I didn't add my matte layer, this would have been a perfect opportunity to do that, right? Because now if you look at it, it's very flat. And that's not bad. It's just it's really flat and there's no definition to the different layers. So if I had propped that up, that definitely would have made a difference, and you would really see that it has a little bit more oomph to it. Now in the sketch, it does have this little piece here. I just used up a scrap piece of that pattern paper that I used in the previous card on our hop, and I used it for my matte layer for this circle as well. So we'll just glue that down here. Now I keep talking about different ways of bringing things forward so they're not getting lost. Well, here's another one. I have a sentiment. I cut this out. It is part of the printable, but I didn't want all the things around it. But if you stick it right to the card, it does still get lost. That might be okay. It's up to you. But I kind of want this to stand out a little bit more. So all I'm going to do is just, and I got 2 minutes to do this, is just bring a little bit of ink, and I'm just going to do it very softly. I'm going to dab off and just right in the center. That's all I'm going to do. And you do it the way you want to do it. You can do more or less. It's up to you. But when you add this, you now can see that it stands out a lot more, and just by that little bit of shading. So if I do run out of time, definitely hop over to Lala. She will be going live soon in 1 minute. So let's see if I can do this, but hop on over to her. I should automatically do it automatically if I did it properly. If not, I am sorry about that. But let's see if I can finish this card. I'm just going to add some little pumpkins. I'm going to add my little sentiment. I don't care if this hangs out. I think it's going to look pretty cool if it hangs over. So there we go. I cut my little pumpkin here. This was part of the sentiment, and I'm going to add that right back. And oh my goodness, this is going to be tight. And then I got to figure out where I put my pumpkins. And I think I'm going to just lay these down and create a little bit of scene. I may not use the top one. We'll see. So these big, huge pumpkins are nice and big to fill in some of that space. And these pumpkins do not have a story, sorry. Maybe this is the story that the Herald was talking about. Now I glued it. I can put it here. I can maybe I'll just have it up here, like if it's sitting in on a shelf. There you go. I made it on time. I hope you all made it. I hope you all go to Lala. Let me know if it works, and I will talk to you all later. I will finish off and just wait till everyone leaves, but these were the 3 cards I created, and we will move on to Lala and see what she has created on hers. She should be going live right now. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like these, and have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, and I will talk to you all later. Take care.